this tutorial, we are going to be creating this scalloped edging on our sock. The items that you're going to need is a plain sock. You will need a pair of scissors. You may or may not need a needle threader. You also will need a sewing needle. You will need the crochet thread of your desire. Today, I am using Aunt Lydia's crochet thread, Classic 10, and it is in the colorway Dark Royal. And then you will need a crochet hook, 2.5 millimeters. All right. I'm going to clear the craft table a little bit so we've got a little bit of room to work in. And then we're going to go ahead and get started creating our scalloped edging. The first thing that I like to do is open the sock up all the way and get it laying flat. And then I'm going to grab my crochet thread. And we're going to start by creating a slip knot. And then you want to just make sure you have enough of a tail that you can weave in at the end. And if you're ready, get all of your items together and we'll get started. All right, to get started, we're just going to pick up anywhere on the sock. And I am going to, let me zoom in just a little bit more so we're really, really up close for this. Okay. I'm just going to start right here on this back side, and I'm just going to take my hook, and if you'll notice, there's like these ridges. I am just inserting my hook each time in between each of those ridges, the bigger space here. So let me get started. I'm going to go ahead and insert my hook and see how easy it went through the sock. It does not pull on it. It does not cause it to spread or create a hole, as you'll see in just a minute. But I'm going to put my thread on my hook and I'm going to pull it through, and then I'm going to fasten it on there with a slip stitch. And now my thread is on the sock and it is ready to go. All right, I'm going to chain one, and then I'm going to go right back into that same spot and I'm going to work a single crochet. And the thing about crochet thread is it does easily slide off your hook, but this is not a project that we have to like fly through, so don't be afraid to take your time. All right, I'm going to go right into the very next space, and I'm going to pull up a loop and make another single crochet. And I'm going to do this all the way around the sock. And again, I'm just working in each little space and going around the sock and making single crochets. And I'm just going to keep doing this until I just get all the way back to the beginning. Let me show you what I have so far. So go ahead and complete round 1 all the way around, just working around the circumference of your sock and just working single crochet side by side. And I will meet back up with you when you get all the way around to the beginning, and I'll show you how to finish round 1 and get ready for round 2. We'll be doing a total of 3 rounds to complete our sock. So go ahead and finish round 1, and I will meet back up with you. All right, we've come back around to the beginning where we started round 1. And I'm going to make this last single crochet right here. And that will complete our round. We are going to go right into the top of this first one, and we're going to slip stitch to join. Now we're going to chain 5, and we're starting round 2. So 1, 2, and like I said, it is crochet thread, so it's easy to slide off. 3, 4, and 5. This is going to count as a double crochet and a chain 2. We're now going to work a double crochet right back into the bottom of where we just did that chain 5. And we are creating a V-stitch. And it will look just like that. Okay. We're going to skip the next one, and in the next one we're going to work another V-stitch by working a double crochet, chain 2, and go right back into that same stitch, that same single crochet, and make another double crochet, and we've now created another V-stitch, and it looks just like this. All right, we're going to skip the next single crochet, and in the next one we're going to work a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, creating another V-stitch. And going right back in there, work the second double crochet. And we're going to do this all the way around for round 2. We're going to skip the next single crochet, and in the next one we're going to work a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, all in the same stitch. Until we get all the way back around. So go ahead and complete round 2, and I'll meet back up with you. All right, we've come back around to the end here, and I'm going to work the last V-stitch with you. So I'm going to skip this one and come into this one and work my double crochet, chain 2, and work a double crochet right back in there to complete that V-stitch. All right, and then I have one stitch in between the last V-stitch I made and the first one. Sometimes as you're going around, you may have 2 stitches left, but you don't want to work a V-stitch and then have it sit right on top of it. So if you have 2 stitches left, 2 single crochets versus the 1, then just skip both of the remaining 2 single crochets. To end round 2, we are going to go right here in the center of the first V-stitch that we made, and we're going to draw up a loop and slip stitch so that we have joined them. And that completes round 2. For round 3, we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and that is going to count as our first double crochet. We're now going to go right into the center of that same V-stitch, and we're going to work 6 more double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, five, and 6. Now with those 6 double crochets and the chain 3 at the beginning, it has given us a total of 7 double crochets in the center of that V-stitch. All right, we're going to go to the next V-stitch. We're going to skip this little space right here that's in between the V-stitches, and we're going to go right here into the next V-stitch, and we're just going to work a single crochet like that. All right, we're going to go to the next V-stitch, and we're going to work 7 double crochets in it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and our 7th and final one. And that creates another scallop or shell, however you want to look at it. All right, we're going to find the next V-stitch, and we're just going to work a single crochet. And what that does is it kind of defines, it gives a little bit of a dip in between each of our shells to give it that little flowery kind of effect. All right, I'll work one more with you. We're going to go to the next V-stitch, and in the center, we're going to work 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and remember we're working in the center of these, not in the stitches, but in the center. 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that completes our next little shell. We're going to go to the next V-stitch, and we're going to work a single crochet. Now go ahead and complete this round by going to the next V-stitch and working 7 double crochets. Go to the next V-stitch and work a single crochet. 7 doubles, 1 single. 7 doubles, 1 single, until you get all the way back around, and I will meet up with you and we will finish round 3 together. All right, we're back around to the end of round 3, and I have 2 V-stitches left. I just finished my single crochet in the V-stitch before, so I'm going to work 7 double crochets into this next V-stitch. So that's 1, 2, 2, okay, came out, so let me put it back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, I'm going to come into this last V-stitch and work a single crochet. And now we are completely back at the beginning. All right, I'm going to come to the top of this chain 3 that we did, insert my hook, pull up a loop, and slip stitch to close. And now we have completed our sock. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to just snip off enough to leave for a tail for sewing in. And then I'm going to pull that through and tighten it down. And the sock is complete. All right, now we've got to weave in our ends. So we'll start with the one right here at the top on the outside edge. And I'm going to grab my sewing needle. And just to make this easy, I'm going to insert my little needle feeder here and grab my crochet thread and feed that through. Might be easier if I just use the needle itself. So let me do that. There we go. That's what I needed. Wasn't going through all the way, so now I can do it. There we go. And then pull that through. It is not wanting to go through. All right. Let me try a different needle. Let's try this one. There we go. This is the needle I normally use. There we go. All right. Once you have your needle threaded, I like to always go from the opposite side of where the knot is. So I'm going to come from the front side and come to the back side so that I'm pulling that knot through and it has completely disappeared. All right. And then I'm going to turn this so I'm working down into my thread. And the way I do this is I'm going to then come weave right in through here under some of these stitches here and work my way down. And then I'm going to use a scallop here, or a shelf, whatever you want to call it, to hide my tail. So I'm just working that under all of those stitches. Pull it through. And then to give it the reverse tension, I'm going to skip the first one right here, go over it, and then come back through the rest. And then I always like to do it 3 times. So I'll do it one more time this way, and that way I know that that is locked in and secure, and then I go ahead and trim. All right, for the last one, the one at the bottom where we started, now I like to do this a specific way, so I'm going to show you how I like doing mine. And I'm going to go ahead and get this threaded. Sometimes that does split, so it is easier to use the needle threader. All right. And if you'll notice, there's a little bit of a gap right here because this is where we started. So I like to take it and I like to go to the top of this little V. See how it makes V's too? Right there. I like to go to the very top of that V and pull my thread through, and it just closes up that space right there. All right, then I'm going to come to the front side. Now I don't want to weave in on the front side, so I'm just going to pick a spot, it doesn't matter where, and pull it back through. And then I like to go and just work up some of these stitches on the back side, just weaving in and out of them like that. Pull my yarn through, or thread, and same thing, I go over the top of the first one and I just weave back down through, and then I always go a third time going back through them, and that just locks it in. And I trim, and my sock is complete. I just turn my little cuff down, and we have our pair of matching socks. If you enjoyed making these socks, let me know by leaving a thumbs up. I'd love to have a comment from you, letting me know if you enjoyed the tutorial, if you tried making the socks. And be joyful, stay crafty in your own way, make your own joyful creations, and I'll see you next time.